Hi, I'm Dan Covington with Estate Plan Kansas. You can always find me at estateplankansas.com. Quite a few people ask me when the subject of a trust comes up, aren't trusts just for the quite wealthy folks? Do I really have enough that I qualify or that I need a trust? Well, that's kind of an outdated concept that only super wealthy folks need a trust. Essentially, a trust just places some of your major assets and even your personal property into something similar to you might think of it as a holding company. You're going to convey those things in when you set up your estate plan. Then when you pass away, maybe the trust is still around to take care of your surviving spouse. But after the death of the second of you, your trust can do all kinds of things, not the least of which is to avoid probate. You've heard stories, nightmare stories of folks who had to go through probate maybe 6 months, maybe 2 or 3 years, with the court overseeing everything that's done with respect to family assets. With a trust, you already conveyed those things into the trust. When the contingencies occur, your trustee is empowered to privately convey, distribute, transfer, hand over, pay out, any of these kind of assets, and it's always according to your wishes. Your trustee is a fiduciary, so they're bound by simple contract law and by the law of fiduciary care to take care of those assets and to do as you wish. Trust has a lot of other benefits. It can help you with taxes. For instance, when property passes through a trust, you're going to elect to take a step up in basis. In other words, if you're familiar with a real property sale, you can have a capital gains tax. Basically, the profit you made on the property, if you bought the property 30 years ago, that profit could be pretty substantial. Tax can be kind of high. When you pass property which is inherited, for instance, through a trust, you can take a step up in basis, so at the death of the second of you, your family can essentially gain that property as if they bought it at the fair market appraisal value on the date of your death. That means rather than 30 years of profit, maybe they don't hold it as long and their tax is quite a bit less. Trust can also do things like provide for your children's education. It can be set aside to pay, for instance, we do this a lot of times, pay for up to their need at post-secondary education, meaning whatever isn't covered by scholarships and grants. The trust can fill in those spots. That way it conserves the assets, and maybe it pays out to them at age 25 or at age 30 or upon the happening of some contingency that you'll name in your trust. Again, trusts have just a ton of benefits when compared to a traditional will or kind of other very simple forms of estate planning. You can always reach me at estateplankansas.com. We can talk about those things. If you ever hear the question, aren't trusts just for the super wealthy? It's not the case at all. A trust is going to cost you just a little bit more to set up than a regular simple will estate plan. But in the long run, when it comes time to probate once or probate twice, you're going to save your family thousands of dollars that you can then pass on to them. Thank you.